Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Bravehearts all around the world. I'm Dr. Daryl Wolf, and this is DocStar TV. And you know what? I'm doing today a one-a-day for you. And what's the one-a-day called? Well, the one-a-day today is called this, okay? Let's avoid a Christmas. Christmas, okay? Nobody needs a mess. And understand something. Whether you believe it or not, we just went through 3 years, okay, of the biggest challenge, okay, in this generation. And the reality is this: when we're just about to sit down and have a beautiful time with our family at Christmas, okay, during the holiday season, these same people are going to disrupt us, distract us, and they're going to try to get us to attack ourselves and each other. You have to understand something. You need to have an inner standing, okay? That guess what? You need to connect to your breath. Please just practice this Christmas so you don't have to clean up a mess. You don't want a Christmas or a New Year mess. You don't need a mess. And understand something. How do you feel every time that you lose it with a friend or a family, or you just can't control your own anger? You end up hurting yourself and you hurt others, and then you feel guilty for it, and that makes you more angry. Please don't. We can do this. We can do this. We can come together. First thing I'm going to talk about is this. And I want to keep things simple because everything needs to be simple. You know, the medical system is complicated. They made it into some kind of religion that nobody can understand. Okay, and then we have these high priests that, and when you talk to them, you don't even know where they're coming from. They've made health the greatest mystery in the world. They've made finances the greatest mystery in the world. They've made love elusive because we don't understand that it's all about self-care and self-love. It's about unconditional love for ourselves. If you can't do it for yourself, you will never be able to do it for anybody else. I'm telling you the God's truth. I know what I'm talking about this. I'm not telling you I know a lot. I know about this much, but I know it really well. Okay? And the reality is I'm telling you right now that I've been pitching the self-love, self-care, unconditional love, one message, one love, one universal law, and I know that much, that is the God's truth. But you've got to do it with yourself first. If you can't completely, unconditionally love yourself first and foremost, you can't do it for others. You're only going to give what you are. You're not going to give what you're not. And if you don't want to change your personality, then guess what? It was never your personality, by the way. Just know that. You were force-fed, and you were constructed when you were in your subconscious, which was when you were 0 to 7, and you were a sponge, and you took everything in with a grin, and you thought it was all real because you were in what we call a theta state, in a trance, and you took everything in. You didn't have a filter that said, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I don't like that. Yes, I do like that. You just took it all in. And understand something. That is where we get set up. And as far as I'm concerned, the human brain and the human DNA was manipulated hundreds of thousands of years ago, and you can believe it or not, but guess what? What a setup. What a setup. Don't give me about how I'm from 0 to 7, I soak everything up like a sponge and I take it as if this is the way it's going to be. And then 70 to 90% of my personality is made up of the peers and all the BS programs, okay, that I got from 0 to 7. And then when I tried to stand up for myself, my mother and father said, you shut your mouth, you listen to us. Well, they should have listened to me, and I should have listened to my children more because they were the little spirits that were trying to guide us. So you can take that or leave it, but adults are adulterated, and that's it. So let's see when we're being tested by these psychos, because they are harvesting us, and they believe they own us, and they do believe that they are the gods of this planet. And you can believe it or not believe it. And then, you know what? You can believe in all the beliefs you have and all the programs you have, but guess what? You better buckle up, baby, because it's going to be a bumpy road. unless you're going to go in and you're going to reconstruct, erase and replace belief systems and the way you view yourself and the world and what you think you're capable of, because you should have no limitation, just possibilities, and just creating the greatest life no matter what goes on out there. You need to mind your own business. But let's start with this. First of all, how often throughout the day do you know that you're in the present moment? Do you know that you're connected to your breath? Try this with me right now. Just breathe in 6 seconds and try to let it out for 7 seconds. Ready? Now, if you did that just 3 times before you decide to lose it with your children, with your mother, with your father, or anybody else, you wouldn't have to clean up a mess. Now, remember that person that you love so dearly that actually challenges you and they always trigger you? Oh, let me tell you something right now, and you need to get this. You're either triggering buttons in everyone that causes them to blow or causes them to grow. You get that? Everyone that has not embraced unconditional love will push buttons in their family members because everybody runs a program. And I run a program, but I don't run a program where I try to push my family members because I don't realize that I have a mood going on, mood number 64. I don't do that. I don't terrorize any of my children, my partner, my friends. I don't terrorize anyone. I mind my own business and stay in the heart, in the God spot in the heart, always. My job is not to try to change people, but to make sure that I'm always changing myself by 1% every day. Because I am a spirit being, which means I have unlimited possibility. And understand, I don't get down on my knees and beg God, please. I get up on my feet and I raise my arms to the air and I say, I am here and this is what I want. Bless me with it. We need to look at everything differently. And if you don't want to, you go ahead. Most people will base this whole Christmas on suffering, okay? On how I can't get along with Uncle Harry, or oh my God, or how I didn't get what I deserve, or they'll continue to do this. You need to mind your own business, checking your own belief systems, okay? Because you can have heaven on earth at a given moment if you connect to your breath. It's called the lion heart breath. 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out. You do that 3 times. Put your hand on your heart. When somebody triggers you this Christmas, when somebody tries to test you, because they don't even know they're testing you on a subconscious level, okay? They need a reason to be upset or be depressed or be angry. And how to do that? They know how to push your button so that you lose your crap and then you open up your yap and then you dump it right there and they go, see, I was right. See, I was right. This is what you're like. And that's the same with these psychos. If these psychos were to be talking and nobody was listening, they would have no power. And the reality is God love all your family members and all your friends, but they're screwed up. They're screwed up. I hardly know anyone that's balanced. And you're going to go, well, who do you think you are, Daryl? Well, I'm somebody that works every given moment on trying to stay balanced. No matter what the crisis is, it's not a crisis. It's a time to pull back and learn or burn. And most of you are going to burn this Christmas. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to be sick by January the 10th or by February the 1st, in between there. Because guess what? You won't be able to what? You've never tamed your brain. You've never ever become the master of your emotions. You know, when somebody does something, you react, you attack. You react, you attack. And that's it. And that's 99.9% of the population. And I am no better than anybody else. But guess what? I have spent massive energy on learning how to change that. Because tell me that everybody's not programmed. So guess what? Now we're going to do that. We're going to breathe 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out. And we're going to breathe through our nose. And we're going to let it go out through our nose or out through our mouth. But don't take it in through your mouth because your mouth is for eating, not for breathing. Okay? Now, I want you to start practicing this, and every time that you feel a little bit of stress from this moment on, you're going to put your hand on your heart or your finger on your heart, because we need to have you drop down, not in vibration, but drop down to the heart, which is smart, which knows everything, and the heart does not make mistakes. Okay, the heart is the only organ that doesn't get cancer. The heart is the organ that has the highest vibration coming off of it, and the heart knows all, and there is a God spot within the heart. And when we do a heart release, I tell everyone, if I can reach the God spot of the heart when we're doing non-surgical, and because you know why people get heart attacks? You know why heart disease is the main killer on the planet? Because your heart is the recorder of your emotions. So every time, and because you've been taught to be emotional, okay, not the master of your emotions, and we don't understand that if we were the master of our emotions, we could dump dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, called the dose, every moment of the day. All we have to do is have a slight smile, stay connected to our breath, our shoulders back, and never judge another person again. Just observe and say, do I want to hang around with that person? Do I want to drink that thing? Do I want to eat that thing? Is this a good thing for me to get involved? And guess what? And when you want to take a stand, you don't have to get upset with people. And the only reason why you get upset with people is because you don't have an understanding that you're allowed to ask for what you want. It's like this, honey, I want to tell you this right now, that I love you with all my heart, but I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going to have that type of relationship that we've been having. I'm trying to practice unconditional love for myself, and I want that for me and for you and everybody around me. So the reality is that she says something, then you say something, and then you walk away from each other for 2 days, 3 days, 3 weeks, forever. I don't know. Everybody's got their program, baby. All you got to do is get a calendar and do calendar tracking and start tracking yourself. Okay? Wow. Oh my God. Every 3 days, I go into depression for like 3 hours. Oh my God. I blow up 6 times a day. Oh my God, start tracking yourself, and you're going to find out that the brain is just a computer. It runs programs, and it's also a chemist, and it dumps chemicals, and most of you are dumping chemicals and getting sick, and guess what? You're feeding the corporations that actually created the fear and the anxiety and the scarcity in you on all levels. That's it. That's it. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just trying to tell you, I nailed this. I nailed it. And when I say this and people go, that's not true, is that I have no fear for nothing. I practice no fear. That doesn't mean I'm going to jump off a cliff that's 100 feet down. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. I don't react. I take a deep lion heart breath in, lion heart breath out, and guess what? Until I can keep myself in alignment, I'm not going to answer the person. I'm not going to make a decision. I want an answer right now. You hear me? Well, that's good, but you're not going to get it. I'm in authority over you, and I need an answer. Well, you're not going to get it, okay? All right? So there is no authority over me, thank you very much, on this planet. The only authority over me is called my source, my creator. Thank you very much, and I would actually say that. There is no one that's ever going to overpower me on this planet. I'm not trying to start a fight with anyone. I'm not trying to challenge anyone. But don't think that you're going to come here and you're going to get me scared or you're going to threaten me. Do you know how many times I get threatened because of the way I speak already? By government, by corporations, by the medical system. I've been around it. I mean, every 3 years they try to take me to task. You know, it's just like, it's another program, and I'm okay with it because I'm not changing. You know, you need to learn how to stand in your dignity for yourself. You know, people go, why are you doing this Braveheart Nation movement? Why did you create the library? What are you really after, Daryl? What am I really after? I believe that one man, one woman can make a difference on this planet. And as long as I'm making a difference on this planet to create more joy and abundance, then I want to be here. I know that my spirit is eternal, and if I can't do that, then I don't want to stay here. I am not scared of leaving here. I am not scared of staying here. But if I'm going to stay here, then I am going to do what we were meant to do, and that we are born creators. And if we are not creating, then guess what? Are you ready for this? Then we are mutating. We are disintegrating. Okay? So we're going to take a breath 6 seconds in and 7 seconds out. And that's how we're going to calm ourselves down, and we're going to put our hands on our hearts or our finger. Nobody's even going to notice that, because they're going to be terrorizing themselves and you at the same time. Let's see if you can be happy and not right this whole holiday season. I don't need to be right. I'm telling you how I feel about my life and how I live my life. It is not right for anybody else but me. If you decide to pick something from the menu board that I'm talking about today, you do it. I'm not interested in followers. I'm interested in leaders and people that will actually find their authentic self and say, you know what, Daryl, what? I'm going to take your information, your books, your videos, and I'm going to do much better than you. And then I'm going to sit back and be a big, proud father. Is that okay? That's who I really am. And you need to understand, I don't BS anybody. The way I talk here, I live out here. You can ask any of my employees or any of the people that I work with, okay? They're not employees. I don't even like that word. I want you to understand something. You find your understanding about yourself, and that is unconditional love and care for yourself. I'm telling you right now, you should have invested in a belly button therapy kit, and you should be doing belly button therapy every morning before you get out of bed. It dumps more dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins than making love. It dumps more of that. It's called the dose. That's what it spells. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. And it more than a hug. Okay, this is the umbilical, where the umbilical cord was attached to your mother. Of course, it was everything about nourishment and love and vibration. Vibrations ran along that cord from mom to you. And understand, when you go like this and you do belly button therapy, it only takes 5 minutes. And you know what? Even if you don't do it aggressively, your temperature will come up 1%. It kills viruses, bad bacteria, and fungus. If you go more aggressively and deeper, your temperature will come up 2%, and that means that it will actually change around cancer cells. You heard what I said. Shut down inflammation, because guess what? Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins are the love healing chemicals of your body. So the reality is this. The people that are in your family right now that have an autoimmune disease, and guess what? That means attacking themselves. They're going to continue to attack themselves even more during Christmas, because they're all running a program, because the emotional created the physical, the invisible, okay, creates the physical, the psychological rules the biological, and you better get that. So when people come to me, we will always talk about detoxification on a physical level, and then I'll try to come in through the back door and tell them and show them that your personality is what's destroying you. Your personality is what is going to heal you. And if you don't change your personality, you can use all the money you want, and you can use all the whole family to rally around. Oh my God, I got rid of my cancer, but then it came back because your family couldn't be there to rah. And all of that needed to do to change that was unconditional love and care for yourself, and go in and be an observer and stay in the present moment long enough to own the present moment and realize that you're running programs you would have never put in there if you were allowed to make the decision, but you weren't, because we were manipulated in a laboratory hundreds of thousands of years ago. I can make up my own story, can't I? And then guess what? And they created a subconscious that when they got done with us, by the time we were 7 years old, we were already cemented in, unless you knew somebody like me that said, wake up, wake up. Go back and reprogram that computer. Pull those dysfunctional programs out, and you get in unconditional love and care for yourself. Most of your family's not going to go for this, and that's okay. Just remember something, okay? Suffering is not the way to the Lord. Suffering is not the way to get healthy. Suffering for your family is not how you help them. How you help your family is to stop suffering on all levels, so you let them off the hook, so they don't have to worry about you. Why don't you take responsibility? Because you're addicted. You're addicted to suffering. You're addicted to having emotional chaos. You're addicted to chemicals. You're addicted to sugar. You're addicted to the adrenaline rush, because guess what? Our brains have been taught to focus on drama and trauma more than pleasure and celebration. So now you've got to go and restructure this thing, and if you don't, your boat don't float. Let me tell you, you're leaking. You're going to be leaking, and that's called leaky gut, and it's not leaky gut, it's leaky large intestine, and most of you are rotting out. You're rotting out here first with stinking thinking, and then rotting out down here and tell me you're not. And guess what? I'm here and I love you, and you don't have to believe me, but I will continually on coming on here until I have my last breath. And then when I do have my last breath, I will fly. But until I do, I will try to do my best and let you know that you are beautiful, and that which created you has never judged you. You are not the sinner you think you are. You are not the failure. I need you to get this Christmas message, this holiday message, this Hanukkah message. Call it whatever you want, okay? I'm never going to be politically correct because I can't look after anyone or keep anybody happy because everybody's looking for a reason to get upset with everybody else right now. Because that's what, they feel they have no control in their life. But if you controlled your emotions and you were the master of your physical body, you wouldn't be like this. So the reality is why don't you keep doing what everybody's doing, and you'll keep on screwing yourself over and everybody else. So understand, it hasn't worked for centuries, listening to any authority. You need to become your own authority. And guess what? They've lied to you, because that which created the universe has never had a problem with you. Okay? Never. Never. But if you want to have that belief, just know I'm not trying to change it. Let's move on. So, first thing in the morning, last thing at night before you go to bed, why not have the biggest dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphin rush of your life? Go to my do-it-yourself library, okay, and then do this and tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Go look at the science. Wow, Dr. Wolf, you're really trying to get the money out of us, aren't you? So guess what? Then don't do anything. Use your finger. It won't work as well. Or go and make one yourself, okay? Do whatever you need to do and think however you need to think. But remember something, poverty consciousness never got us anywhere, all right? Now, this is called a clapper, all right? Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. This is a miracle device. We actually made 4 different clappers, and this is the one we settled on. And you're gonna go, I'm sensitive. I'm in pain all the time. Well, you're in pain all the time because you run a pain program, and believe it or not, you on a subconscious level, way deep down inside yourself, get off on pain, because pain is dumping the adrenaline all the time because you want some kind of rush. But the reality is now you got kidney problems, okay? Because the adrenals sit on top of your kidneys, and you're burning your kidneys up, baby. Okay, understand this. I already told you, you can have the rush of love or the rush of anger and hate. And that's what adrenaline is, unless there's an actual tiger running behind you. So understand something. Let's get this really clear. Okay. This is true. 50 years ago, people would have a trauma moment 3 times a month. 3 times a month. Before COVID, 17 times a day. See, advertising pays, right? Doesn't it pay? They know what to do with us. They know how to manipulate us. So now, after COVID, 120 times a day, a person actually triggers their adrenals. Oh, well, where do you think the turbo cancer is coming from? Where do you think the turbo diabetes is coming from? Where do you think the obesity? I mean, it's all about stinking thinking. Okay, that leads to inflammation, and inflammation causes all of this. Because you guess what? All right, you're setting yourself on fire. Inflame is the first part of that word. So I'm going to tell you something. If everybody did clapping for an hour every day, I said an hour. If you go to my library and go into the clapping guide or the do-it-yourself guide, I got all kinds of videos there. I got one, how to clap if you're freaked out because of COVID. Okay, all right, because understand something. You shouldn't be. You're created by God Almighty. And understand, you should be freaked out by COVID if you are a normal person with a normal diet. Oh, I've got a good diet. Oh yeah, compared to who? The rest in your family that are rotten to the core? Seriously? Are you kidding me? I'll tell you what a good diet is, and I will. If you go to my perfect day guide and take a look, that's it. We need a whole plant-based keto diet on this planet right now. That's what we need. And I'm not telling you to stop eating animal products because of Bill Gates. He just wants you to stop eating animal products because he wants you to eat his garbage. That's all. I'm telling you, that guess what? You need to look at everything as a vibration. You are an electrical, magnetic, vibrational being. And if you don't want to look at the people you hang around with, the habits that you have, the things that you do in your spare time, the things that you put in your mouth, the things that you put in your mind, then you're a landmine and you're going to stay that way. And guess what? I'm not trying to change anyone. I think everybody should be given a choice, and then whatever choice they make, that's their choice. It's got nothing to do with me. Because I already told you, I don't buy into the suffering thing. You know, I really won't. But this is where you'll get rid of the suffering thing. Remember something. The issues in your tissues came from the issues in your mind. Now, I don't have the issues that most of you have. I don't have the guilt. I don't have the sinner syndrome. I could fail at something 10,000 times and I don't call it a failure. I call it a practice run that I'm learning. So then if I'm learning, I'm not going to be burning like you. You couldn't tell me that I'm not enough or pretty enough or smart enough or strong enough or good enough, because I wouldn't believe you. It's not part of my concept. The reality is here, this is not about ego, because I don't believe you can kill an ego. And I believe that anybody with an ego is lack of confidence. And that's all that is. You show me an ego. Show me what an ego is. An ego is somebody that is running programs that are overshooting the mark because they're not confident about what they're doing in their life. So why do we always have to get people to try to kill something? I got to kill the cancer. I got to kill the ego. This relationship is killing me. No, it's actually the relationship's not killing you. Your belief systems are killing you. So understand that. When you go into this whole holiday season, it won't be a holiday unless you have a slight smile on your face. And you know, most of you are going, why don't you piss off, Daryl? I'm not smiling unless somebody gives me what I want for Christmas. I'm not smiling unless things go my way. Well, guess what? The world can go on fire today, and I will wear a slight smile, because if I don't, I'm going to burn up my energy, and I'm not going to be there to help my family and my friends. And I need to let them know that a storm doesn't last forever. And I am not going to feed the storm or be the storm. Okay? I want to be the person that has found peace in chaos, that can actually still be there when it's over. So here it is, issues in the tissues. Depending on your personality and depending on the belief systems you have will depend on the disease you have. That's not true. I have a genetic diseases that it jumps every generation, or I got this from my uncle, or there's no such thing. All diseases are epigenetic. That's not true. I have a DNA thing and they found it, and you know what? And my grandfather had it. Well, you know what? You're a damn good creator, okay? Because guess what? We were created by God Almighty to create, so guess what? We just found out that you know how to create a disease. So now what you can do is you can create a healing, baby, okay? Bring it on, okay? Cut the crap, okay? The suffering act needs to stop, okay? If you want. It's just an idea I had. So let's put it this way. Your personality is creating your illness, whether it's toe fungus or vaginitis, or it's a sore throat because you can't get your voice back, okay? Or it's a heart problem because you don't have a very good love relationship with yourself or anybody else. And you've been using everybody to try to get love from them because you don't love, honor, respect yourself. And that's the truth. And if you don't believe me, this is science. This is real science. This is not that other science. This science dates back from the beginning of time. We're emotional beings. And I love being an emotional being when I'm the master of my emotions and I am able to dump dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins in my body all day long and feeling strong. But if you dump adrenaline and cortisol and there's not a real tiger chasing you, there's a make-believe paper tiger with no teeth, and you're doing that 10 times to 120 times, like they say people are doing, your life is already over. You struggle all day long and you're just hoping for a reprieve. And guess what? And it's all this imaginary tiger that's coming after you. That's all. So you need to get it or not get it. You know, your life is no different than mine. I know I'm sitting in the sun and I'm in Zihuatanejo. Well, that's because we're doing a course here in January the 8th to try to teach people how to do this, how to get their life back for the first time in their life. And understand something right now. You can have anything you want. You're limited by your beliefs. What if I were to teach you how to change your beliefs from the inside out, and you cracked your own coconut from the inside out so you could drink the juice of unconditional love for yourself and then give that to others? That'd be pretty good, eh? Go to braveheartnation.com. That's my sales pitch there, but here we go. So the reality is, it doesn't matter. Every bit of stiffness, every bit of pressure, every bit of pain, okay? All right? Every lump and every bump is issues in your tissues. And guess what? You can clap those out. Somebody asked me, I've got a swollen lymph node right here. And I've had people clap out skin cancer about this big. Okay? You can go watch it if you want. People clapping out fibroids, tumors, arthritis, spasms. But the reality is, when you clap, this is called a chopper because it's bigger. This is called a chipper. Okay, on this side here, it's bumpy. On this side, it's smooth. Go watch my videos. And if you clap here, right here inside your arm, you're going to find out something. This is your heart-lung meridian. If you clap in here, and you clap in here for 10 minutes, and see how I'm clapping? Does that sting? Yes, it does. And the reality is you've been taught to run away from pain. I'm not going to run away from pain, but I also don't cause pain in my life. You do know that, right? You do know that if you run away from pain, you cause pain because the focus is to run away from something, but you can't run away because it's actually chasing you, and that would be the paper tiger with no teeth. And the reality is that those of you get what you focus on. I don't focus on pain. I focus on mastering pain. I don't want to manage pain. Who in the hell wants to go to a pain management clinic? I want to go to somebody who's going to teach me how to master pain, because pain is a GPS, and pain was actually a God-given gift. If you didn't have pain, you put your hand on a burner and it would sit there, and if you didn't smell it in time, it would be burnt, wouldn't it? And if you didn't have any pain, you wouldn't know that you're eating all of these psychos out there. They're poisons. If you didn't have pain, okay, you wouldn't be alive. But that's why everybody wants to numb themselves out with drugs, because they were taught that pain is the enemy when it's not. It's your friend. Pain is my friend. I don't have it. If I feel a tweak here, how would you like to have a little tweak here of pain and you knew what to do with it? Ha ha ha. You know what? There is no such thing as chronic illness. There's just thing as somebody who has never been trained how to love and care for themselves, and they went to a dumbass doctor. A dumbass doctor, okay? And I do mean dumbass doctor, because the reality is that they've been educated and dumbed down. Because any doctor that's worth its salt, okay, is going to train you, not treat you forever, and not mistreat you by giving you poisonous things or taking a knife to you, because whether you want to believe it or not, it doesn't matter to me, because I know people don't believe in me. Most people, and that's okay. But the reality is that 95 to 98% of all surgeries never have to get done. And people do not know how to connect to their breath. They don't know how to do belly button therapy. They don't know if they've got a pain right here and they were to clap it. The only reason there's a pain is because there's a physical blockage. So there's scar tissue, or there's calcium or crystallization, and if you clap it, you create circulation, and we create hyperinflammation. So we're going to create inflammation to create the circulation, to melt the crystallization, to help the calcium go back into the bone, because that's what it does when you do this. And we're going to also increase the circulation so we can create the blood supply to get into the scar tissue, to bring it back into beautiful connective tissue. When we do Wolf non-surgical, we don't get rid of anything. We bring back your life force, God-given life force, into that scar tissue or into that blocked area, whether it be a fibroid or a tumor, and we bring back in the circulation of the lymph, the blood, your spirit energy. And what do you think it does? It takes that beef jerky scar tissue and it wakes it up and goes, baby, I'm back. That's it. But why haven't the rest of the body workers figured this out, or the medical doctors figured this out? The reality is I've done a lot of real people, real healing videos, and I'm going to do a couple more today, and then starting next week I'm going to teach you how to go and just do a 10-minute, and I'm going to clap each day just a certain body part to help you out, and I'm going to show you how to do the bottle work on the area. But the reality is this: I start every second day I'll start clapping here at my neck. Well, first I do my shoulder. There's no shirt on, by the way, okay? And then I clap. And, you know, see this clapper? It's so I can use this. If I used my hand, I would actually get stress in my neck, get stress in my shoulder. But if you use this, it's all just leverage. Everything is about leverage, right? So if I'm clapping like this, I'll start here, okay? I have people that get rid of their frozen shoulder, get rid of their tennis elbow, that people that get rid of their carpal tunnel syndrome, people that get rid of their ankle problem, knee problem, hip problem, get rid of their cancer, skin cancer, people that get rid of their fibroids. Do you understand? When they take massive personal action and get a consultation from us, we create a strategy from the moment they rise until they close their eyes for $150 with lifetime support plus my manual. Nobody does that in the world. And then people will come on here and go, what's he really up to? Oh, I don't know. What do you think he's really up to? Let's all get together and try to figure it out. Okay? You know, there are people that actually love you that don't have to know you. You need to get that. Okay? So just know this. Know your enemy. And guess what that would be? It would be your belief systems. Not all of them. So work on that. Mind your own business. Okay? And that business is learning how to love you unconditionally. That when you make a mistake, you don't even take a breath to get into alignment and stay there. Okay? You're not taking yourself to hell no more. You're not taking yourself to sinner's syndrome no more. Okay? All right? You can tell me everything you want, that this was written by something and this is hundreds of thousands of years old, and I'll tell you, yeah, whatever. I'm going to make up my own story, which is I'm in love with myself and in love with life, and I will love those who don't even like me. Thank you very much, because that's how you rock this world, and that's how they don't put a chokehold on you. So I will clap and start my shoulder, then I'll go to my neck, okay? All right? And then I'll do my other shoulder and my neck. I'll come around even to the front and then I will do the back. And when I do the back, listen. Now, some of you are going, well, that's just abusive. No, I'll tell you what's abusive. The way that you live. He doesn't know who I am. Oh, yes, I do. There's only 1 out of 10,000 people that live on this planet that believe in total unconditional love for themselves and others. And now tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that there's parts of yourself that you don't like. Tell me there's parts of yourself that you don't, or parts of your family, your children, your mother, your father that you don't like. Why aren't you minding your own business? Why don't you just love them without judgment? Why don't you, but you'll have to do it with yourself first. So once we do that, we'll go back here in the back of the neck. We'll do the occiput. I'll do the whole back of my head, and understand something. I use the bumpy side, okay? So listen. Now you're going, is he like crazy? People that have had concussions, people that have strokes, I get them to start off easily, and within days they're clapping this hard. And you're going to go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Just think how fearful you are. You know what? Just think about this. The next time that somebody has a fever in your family, are you going to go get the stainless steel enema bucket and get warm water and some tummy love and then do a warm water enema and the fever's gone in 10 minutes? Or are you going to give them Tylenol or some drug, or you're going to rush them off to the hospital? This is all part of the whole fear thing, right? So understand that. Everybody needs to just breathe and calm down. Think about all the times that you went and freaked out, and then guess what? It was nothing like you thought. So then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to do the whole head, and this is, look at, I'm 69, and you might go, so what? But look at how thick my hair is. My hair, look how thick it is. Why do you think? Because I clap. If you want to look at my older brother or my younger brother, they don't have the hair I do, but they don't do the clapping I do. So you take the massive personal action. And I've always wanted to keep my hair because my father lost his hair, and I really think I love my hair. Okay? All right? All right. So the next thing is, all right, I'm going to clap my face. And when I clap my face, I do it all over. Look at, especially around the TMJ, the anger point. And you're going to do all over. Trust me, you will not hurt yourself. Start off easy and then work with this, okay? All right? So what I'm going to do right now is, are we still okay here? Yeah. Nobody's kicking us out? You were just on the phone? No. Okay. I'm at a condo and I'm renting, so I just don't want to, upset anybody. So we're like secret agents here, okay? So anyways, let's do it. Okay. So what I want to show is this. Okay. All right. This here, guys, you've probably seen this if you come on. This is called a pure wave magnet. Okay. This pure wave magnet is the strongest magnet on the planet. It really, truly is. This magnet, okay, if you've got like a ringing ears or you don't sleep well, you can put this under your pillow. This is not why I'm doing it today. I'm going to show you how I do the magnet behind my head, okay, and how I open up my occiput. But you can put this under there. If you put the magnet in the fridge, it's called a pure wave magnet. It will have your fruits, vegetables, and foods last for 7 to 10 days longer, okay? If you actually put your food on top of this pure wave magnet, it will actually decontaminate it. We have actual science on our website. If you go to my library and you go into the bee guide, because what they do is they put these in beehives, and the bees don't die now. Well, of course, bees die. Everything passes on. But the reality is at the end of every season, because of these magnets, even if they were close to 5G towers, the hives are actually doubled, and then they have to split them. And also, if you taste the honey, you've never tasted honey so high vibrational before. So what the profits from these pure waves, when they get sold, we give these magnets free to beekeepers. Yes, that's right. So the next time that they tell you, it's the end of the world, it's the end of... My God, since I was a kid, it was going to be the end of the world. It's always the end of the world, Daryl. And guess what? And most of my family still acts like it's the end of the world every day. Dad, what? Okay? And then we just keep a calm voice, right? Because 99.9% of all of the end of the world things with yourself never really happened. Boy, that was a lunch bag letdown. God, you'd think that after all this, the world would just end. Okay, and that was the whole paper tiger chasing you with no teeth, right? Okay, it's amazing, you know, what you'll get off on. You know, it's time for me to have an adrenaline rush. Well, what about time practicing the dopamine rush and learning how to do the clapping, learning how to do the belly button therapy, learning how to do the actual breathing. So you're either going to be releasing chemicals like cortisone and histamine and adrenaline that are tearing you apart, and now you've got a disease and it's not your fault, and that's called dis-ease because you're out of harmony with your emotions. That's all. So, you know, when you're all done and you've got this genetic thing that's only in 1 in 5 billion people, understand it's not true. Okay? It's not true. Another big science breakthrough. Everybody noticed that the scientific breakthroughs are breakdowns. Thank you very much. And the reality is they want us to be confused about what we really are so that they can actually program us to what they want. And nobody noticed that yet? Okay? Well, I'm just going to stay whatever I am, okay? A God-given, created human being, and I will always be seeking out nature and love, okay? And I will never go to war with myself or anyone else, even if they want to go to war with me. Thank you very much. Yeah. So this pure wave magnet, you can put it under your pillow, helps with tinnitus, helps with insomnia. You can use it and rub it on your body for pain. You can put it on your abdomen, on your pelvis. But there's many things you can do, but you can take a look at it. But what we're going to show you here today, I'm going to move this in a second, is I want to show you that you can actually use this magnet. If you don't have the magnet, you can use a plate. Now, I have a plate downstairs that I forgot. Now, with that plate, okay, I'm going to be showing you how to do the plate, and then I'm going to show you how to do the crab stretch. This is something that I put together. I'm not saying that somebody else didn't, but that I never seen it before. It's a stretch that I do for my upper body, and I do it every morning and I do it every night. And it takes me about 5 to 10 minutes to do this, but I totally unwind my whole upper body, okay? But let me just show you this first. I'm going to move this just a little bit. So here's a close-up. I need it on the... Let's see what we got. Okay, I can't even see. Can you see it? Move that so that you can see me, Rafa. Yep. Okay, I can see me. Move it over more this way. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, now I'll slide down here. So, how you doing? So, look it. You can just use a saucer, okay? You know, that you put tea on, or use a little, a bigger plate like a Pyrex just saucer plate. That's, you know, that's like this, right? Flat. And the saucer can have little rounded angle around it. You know how saucers have a little bit of an edge so nothing spills off? Well, that really pays off too. So the reality is, what I want to do is, if you get headaches, if you've got stress, but even if you don't, if you do this when you go to bed, if you do this when you go to bed for anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour, okay? If you do this when you wake up, you get the plate under your neck, or you get the Pure Wave under your neck. So I'm not trying to say everybody has to buy this. You can just get a saucer for $3, and you can get one that is octagonal or has 6 sides. And the reason why, like this, is, see, this here, I can actually, if I find a knot in my neck or somewhere on the side, I'm going to come onto the edge and use this as a trigger point, right? So, you know, like acupressure, acupuncture therapy. So, and I'll actually move it on this edge to try to actually open up and loosen up that knot in my neck, okay? Or in the back of my neck, the side of my neck. I'm going to show you how to do it in a second. So this can be a plate, or this can be the Pure Wave. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you actually did, I'm going to clap every day. If I'm watching TV, if I'm just on the computer watching something, I'm going to clap. I'm going to clap different parts of my body that are stiff, different parts of my body that are in pain. Dr. Wolf said I could go to his library. It's all free. I have more master classes than anybody else, and all my master classes are free. All of them, even the ones we used to charge $1,000 for. This is no time to be trying to sell things. We have to tell people that it's time to learn and rise. So, anyways, you can go in there and you can see all about the clapping. You could dive into my library and be there for probably 3 to 6 months. And you'd come out knowing more than most naturopathic doctors, and definitely more than any medical doctor. And we're talking about stuff that really matters, okay? Because the reality is, our Creator created the human body, and everybody needs to become their own practitioner. You know, you can come to us for treatments and training, but you don't need to come to us. Our whole for longer than a few months, unless you're trying to build a business as a practitioner, because you don't. Because the human body is not a mystery. The human body is not complicated, and healing is not complicated, okay? They have lied, cried, and justified, and made everything into this huge mystery. Enough of that. Okay, so what you want to do is you've got what's called an atlas and axis. Okay, remember Atlas? Okay, he could hold up the world. Atlas. Huh? Okay, well that is C6. Now you're no, that's C1. My apologies. Okay, that's C2 is Atlas. Okay, and C1 is axis. Now they're supposed to move. They're supposed to move, but they don't. Every time that you get trauma, someone creates fear in you, your neck tightens, your shoulders tighten, and guess what? That doesn't move anymore. What do you think that does for cutting down the circulation to your brain? What do you think it does? Huh, you have no idea. So the reality is here is that how would you like to, I like to call, you know what I call this? This is called, okay, this is called the Pure Wave chiromagnet, because this will open up and keep your occiput open, keep things loose up here. That tension, that vice grip around your neck. So that's what you want to do. Now I'm going to show you the different things here. Just know this, everyone. If you get a Perfect Day consult, you'll get my 450-page manual. It's only $150. Go to consultations. If not, go into my do-it-yourself guide. You will see videos. You will see videos of me showing this. You will see pictures of me. We give you everything. So just go in and dive in and stop complaining. Stop explaining. Because guess what? Almost everybody you're talking to doesn't know how to help you. Unless you take massive personal action. They're just going, oh my God, you know, my mother's really starting to annoy me, but I love her and I just don't want it. I can't deal with this. I don't even know what to do with her. Everything that you need to get you started is in my library. I've spent 40 years putting it together for you. I don't have to know you to love you. Okay, all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay down on our backs And you see this? I'm going to take this, and when I do this, you see how I've got it on an angle right now. You can have it on an angle out this way, or you can have it on an angle this way, okay? Remember, if I'm putting the edge in between, everybody put your hand and go down on your back of your head, and you'll feel like a ledge. Boom. As soon as you come to the bottom of the ledge, that's called the occipital groove. Now, if you feel just above the occipital groove to the far right and left, you'll feel bumps. People that are highly stressed out will have big horns right here. And that's because these muscles are continually being triggered, and it's creating scar tissue, crystallization, and calcification here. Whether you believe it or not, this is where you take this and you clap those horns, those devil horns, because guess what? That is just fear. And you clap those devil horns, okay, for 10 to 20 minutes straight. One horn, this one here. And then you do this one here the next day if you want, or if you feel like doing them both. But you clap them until you get rid of them. Those physical blocks are tying you up in a knot. And then you're also going to clap the whole occipital area. Okay? And you're going to clap it. And after a while, it's going to be, and please don't take this word wrong, it's going to be orgasmic. Because when you dump dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, it feels orgasmic because it's pleasure. And you want to feel pleasure in your life. And without pleasure, there is no life. And I need you to get this. So, if you've got a question and you want to call me and you understand that I'm there for you and you're going to listen, just listen to the answer. That's all I ask. And walk away with the answer, even though your subconscious says, this is too different, I'm not doing it. Just sit with it for 24 hours and ask yourself if I'm logical, if I'm trying to manipulate you, if I'm trying to sell you something, or holy crap, maybe he actually cares, okay? So the reality is you're going to have to care more than anybody else for you, or you're never going to have the life that you were given by that which we call Creator. Now, so I'm going to go back here and I'm going to put this, see how I do it on a little bit of an angle? And it's right in the occiput. Now what it's doing, if I put it forward, it's pulling in between C1 and C2. It's pulling them apart because we want to pull them apart. And please, just use a plate. Go get a plate and practice. And if you promise me that you do this every day for 10 days, you'll never stop. Do it in the morning, do it at night. Do your belly button, like get your plate, put it behind your neck. Do your belly button therapy while your plate is there. And guess what? Let's dump all of those beautiful hormones. Let's open up our occiput and let's not get out of bed on the wrong side. And that is such crap. I got out of bed on the wrong side. Well, what side was that? Oh my God. It was just a program. It was time for you to go. It's 3:15 and I'm losing my crap. That's it. All right, so now we're going to go angle forward. We're going to angle backward. See? So now I'm going to pull the occiput apart going forward. And then when I do like this, I'm pulling the occiput apart going backward. And first, use the plate. Use the thin plate. And if you put the plate here and you go, oh my God, it's burning, that means that you've crystallized and calcified. So now you got to take a little tea towel and just wrap it around the top because you're that frozen and that inflamed. And guess what it really is? Do you know what that pain is? That's terrorism. That's terrorism. That's terror. That's what you're feeling. Terror. Thank you for terrorizing yourself and letting the world do it. So now you've learned a lesson and now you know what that is. Because guess what? Pain is a GPS. And guess what? The amount that you're suffering is the amount that you're unconscious of how to love yourself. That's it. No more than that. There is no doctor that's going to help you. I'm not going to help you. I'm going to give you strategies. I'm going to give you strategies and I'm going to give you things to bring up your vibration nutritionally. But at the end of the day, I can't cure anybody. I can't heal anybody. I can just tell you how I've learned. That's all. There's no more to it than that. Okay, so now let's say I'm doing this. I can actually move over and you see the edge of the corner here. Remember we talked about the corner? Well, guess what I'm going to do? Because I feel a knot right here. I'm going to bring it right here. Now watch this. All I'm going to do is this. Now listen, if you can't afford to get a pure wave magnet, please don't pressure yourself. No stress. Get yourself a plate that is an octagon, 6 sides and has corners, and get in there and just go in. Go in between the vertebrae and just keep working that knot. Now listen to me. It's very important, okay? You go in there and you work that knot, and you might have to work that knot for 10 minutes. The next day it's going to feel bruised and tender. Understand something. That bruising and tenderness is the toxicity and the issues of the tissues that were locked in it. I want to say something before I show you the rest, and that's this. When you clap the inner arm and you clap it for 10 minutes, if it goes light purple, then that means that you have had emotional heart damage. Not so bad, because this is your lung and heart meridian inside your elbow. I can clap for half an hour and it's only going to be red. Most people, when they first clap, it's going to go purple, dark purple, brown, green, black. And guess what? Even though they clapped right here, just right here, it runs all the way down to their wrist, or the actual bruising goes all the way up here. So understand, don't tell me that the clapper bruised you, okay? Don't tell me the clapper bruised you. Your emotions bruised you. Because you had stinking thinking. You made bad choices, bad decisions on what you thought, what you drank, and what you ate. And then it's the emotional trap and the physical trap toxins in the joints and in the tissues that are creating the issues. And when you clap, the darker that gets means the more poisoned you are emotionally and physically. And if you don't want to believe me, then you just keep going to the same people, and you go and you take your drugs, whether they're street drugs or whether they're prescription, and numb yourself out, and then don't even experience life. Because we can't experience life unless we are in touch with our emotions. And guess what? They need you drugged. They need you drugged down. Because when they do that, they can pull your pants down, put the diaper on your face just as quick as lickety-split. They got lots of things planned, and guess what? It's not for me. They already know that. They're not after me. They're after the low-hanging fruit. They're after the people that actually were programmed to believe that they were born to suffer. Suffering is the way. That we have to work hard all the time. Life is about working hard. Yeah, I don't buy it. Okay. All right. So anyways, so when you do this, I'm going to show you whether you use this or you use a plate. Watch this. So I'm going to just do this really slowly. And that's all I'm going to do. Put some soft music on. Connect to your lion heart breathing. 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out. And you can actually do this. Watch this. You can take your saucer or the magnet after a while. Watch this. You're going to think I'm crazy, but watch this. That doesn't hurt me because I do this all the time. All right? And you can go right in between the vertebrae. Watch this. Right in between my vertebrae and underneath my jaw, and just release this. So you're going to need to use a plate plus the magnet. The magnet is the strongest magnet you'll ever use in harmonizing and helping to heal the body. You need to use the plate because it can get in deeper into the knots in between the vertebrae, and you can be more specific with it, okay? So if you can't afford a pure wave magnet, don't worry about it. Get the saucer, all right? You are going to unleash the power to heal. That's the deal, okay? All right? I am like sweating. I don't know if you can see it, but it's hot. And it's a good thing that I don't complain, because I don't mind sweating. I don't mind getting good and hot because I love it. I love the sun. I love the fresh air, and I love my life. And guess what? I love you. Have a beautiful day. Bye now. Rafa, can you end it? I can't see.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you know how?
Yes, but I can.